Alrighty, let's take this away. Hang on, make sure this is working. All right. Okay, so one thing you gotta stop doing is walking into people. So you do this a lot on as well. Is like you start whenever you're trying to heal someone or whenever you're going for nade, you just like kind of hold W key with like and like stare at like what you're looking at. You just like target fixation, right? So when you're like playing Ana and you're looking for an anti-nade, you just kind of keep walking forward while you're looking for the anti-nade, and the next thing you know, like you're here throwing an anti-nade, your team's behind you, right? As we saw in the time we've auto-reviewed Hollywood. So for BAP, when you're healing people, like you have a ranged heal, right? So like if you want to heal people, you don't need to be here to heal people, right? You can heal people from like next to this car, right? And that way you can just like if you need to heal your Orisa, instead of having to like jump over this car now, right? You can just like turn like 45 degrees to your left, or I guess it's closer to 90, 80 degrees to your left, and you just heal them, right? But you just tend to walk into people a lot to do things that you don't have to, and it endangers your positioning a lot of the time. It also just makes it harder to do more things at the same time, right? Because in order to keep track of multiple things in your head, right, you need to keep spinning around to get information, right? And it's just very hard. Whoops, why is it like this now? Yeah, so here, right, again, all you need to do is swing to your left, you can heal and shoot at the same time, right? You walk into the doorway, and this gets you hit by 50 grenades, right? And that's what forces you, and you eat echo shots, and this is what forces your shift, right? You might want to shift anyways, but this is what makes it so you have to shift no matter what, right? And again, like your range on your shift healing is probably larger than you think it is, and your BAP like right clicks like definitely don't need to be at this range, right? Again, in order to heal this guy, like notice how you just follow him, right? You just keep walking at him, right? Instead of just like choosing a spot that you like and just take a lot of unnecessary damage, risk to die. And again, to heal this guy, right? Instead of stopping in the car, which is like the safest position because you can heal both sides, right? Really easily, right? Just watch how you heal this guy. You just follow him, right? You just keep walking, right? You gotta resist the urge to follow people and resist the urge to hold W as support. You hold W as like Moira, and that's about it as support. So just resist the urge to hold W. Make sure you stay safe first and foremost, right? So, like again, this is a good spot. You'll even hold here by like default, right? But then when someone's pressured, like someone gets low, you just walk straight into them. That MO is questionable, right? Like unless your Reaper gets stunned, he's pretty much always going to Wraith out. Walk up here. Again, don't take this path because this path will get you spammed, right? Take this path behind the car, right? And then go wide so you don't get shot by anything, and then jump up, right? That's your pathing, right? If you walk in front of the car, you're going to get shot. If you are trying to cross the choke, you don't even need to cross the choke, right? So if you do want to cross the choke, which you can, right? Because like again, BAP is like a damage and a healer, right? So you want to do as much damage as you can as well. So if you do want to cross, make sure you don't stand in the open. You're trying to cross to get to here, so you get to high ground. So now you can shoot very safely, right? And support your Reaper. So again, like we don't cross this way, we cross this way, and we do not stay here. We keep going, right? So we get to here.
Let them up.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
So I know aiming is hard, but please try not to stand still while you're aiming. It will get you killed a lot. You're aiming, you're fine with your right click. What is that sound in the back? But whenever you're aiming your left clicks, actually every left click you shot so far, you've actually just stood completely still for. I don't know if this is a habit from playing Ana or something, where if like shooting enemies you're probably scoping, but like you're just standing still way too much when you're shooting. It's going to get you killed eventually. So if you want to kill this guy on the high ground, just jump up, right? Just start holding your crouch, right? As soon as you realize that guy's low, right? Just do what you're doing here, and for like about like 0.8 to 1 seconds in, right? You can just jump up, and either you jump and land, or you just jump and shoot him, right? You can just shoot him right here, and and then shoot again as you're falling down, right? And you're good, right? You heal them as much as he needs to. It's opposed to like telling him to group up with you and trying to hit these like airborne shots. Like these shots are so hard. You hit them, but like it's just not worth making it that difficult when you just jump up and shoot them and shoot his feet, right? So. There's also McCree to your right. You realize that? Oh no, okay, never mind. I see. I'm dumb. You're better. You're smarter than me. That lamp is too forced, right?
Escort the payload.
So you got a bunch of stickies, so I know you're panicking. But unless you feel like you're actually about to die, don't lamp, right? So wait, like stickies by themselves won't kill you, right? Especially if you're already full health, which you were. So just like wait until you hear if there's any other follow-up, right? So if you're like you can't find the echo, but she's like right above you, like and you hear a beam or like echo shots, or additional echo shots, then you want to consider lamping, right? Especially if they're hitting you, right? But you have time to react. Overwatch is a fast game, but it's not so fast that you can't just like think about what's happening, right? And it's like I'm being shot, like I have sticky bombs. Am I still being shot at? And the answer is no. You probably don't need a lamp, especially if you're full health. If you're lower health and you've got 6 stickies in your face, then reconsider. But if you don't, right? Like if there's only like 3 stickies and you're full health and there's no additional echo sounds, right? You're totally fine. Don't worry about it. Don't lamp, right? If someone dies now, it's also no big concern either way. But having lamp is kind of a big deal.
Fully healed.
High ground. Right, so don't play this open space where you can get shot, right? So like start healing your team, right? And start getting over here so you can jump onto here, right? And then again, you can still heal your team. You're an LOS if you're Ana, right? You're safe from everything except somebody playing up there, right? And then you consider like either shooting over this side or jumping over the wall, taking a look and seeing what's there. If there's nothing there, right? Like you can land and then just jump back up, take the high ground, right? Or just like land on this thing right here because you can land on this and see either taking the elevator, right? If there's no one like in this direct vicinity, there's a McCree, so don't do that. But you can land over here, say there's anyone taking the elevator. There's no one taking the elevator, then you just drop and you jump up, and now the high ground's yours, right? So you gotta really like, if you're gonna play Bap, especially in situations where Bap's not ideal, like this comp, you need to play to abuse his mobility, right? Because his there's almost no characters in the game that have this level of vertical mobility with no cooldown, right? So you just need to take advantage of it and just constantly get information, constantly take high ground, use it to aim shots sometimes, right? Like for example, if like your Ryan's in front of the cart, hitting him can be kind of hard from behind him, right? But if you're above him, right, even if there's nothing here, right, there's nothing to jump on, you just jump up, like suddenly you just shoot his feet, like hitting your Ryan is the easiest thing in the world, right? So sometimes when you need to hit shots, just getting like crouching for half a second before you realize, like as you realize that's becoming a problem, like your Ryan's running around the cart, just crouch for half a second, jump up, you'll hit that shot, you'll hit another shot, and that's 120 healing that your Ryan didn't have before, right? And that's a really big deal, right? So a lot of like getting better BAP is finding ways to weave in left clicking and right clicking amongst each other, so you're doing both damage and healing at the same time, and also using your high ground to its your exit boots to like the maximum potential. So I'm just giving you like ways you can use it right now, but like just really look for uses constantly, right? So like instead of like standing in the open and risking getting shot, just like beeline over here, jump up. You're totally safe here. There's nothing that can pressure you except like a wood up there, in which case you should probably see that coming. And then you can jump up, be like, okay, there's no one on my close right? I land. Or like as you're jumping, you can like even determine whether or not you should land, right? And then like you can go across the side if there's no one there, right? You check the elevator, there's no one on the elevator. You walk out, you see there's no one in this whole area. You drop, you take the high ground, it's yours, right? And you can do this because you're BAP and you have unlimited high ground access, right? With no cooldown, and you don't even need to have a wall, right? Like unlike Genji or Hanzo, you can literally just do it anywhere, right? Be like, okay, this is a very like if you look at this is kind of an awkward spot for Genji to get to sometimes, right? But as you just kind of charge exit boots, whee, and you're up there, right? And there's almost no hero in the game that can do that as freely as you can. So just really abuse that. Oh, don't pick up on the splash. Okay, nice. Again, see, like your natural instinct is to like, in this case, you're not walking at him, which is good, but you're not playing cover, right? Again, like think of your threats, right? If you're here, like what can kill you? Literally nobody. It feels pretty good. It feels pretty good, right? You also have teammates on the side, so you know for sure, like you saw your hog earlier, you know for sure that there's no one playing here about to kill you, because like again, your hog's right here, right? So the McCree's not like flanking you. If you're worried about the McCree, like you just turn and look at him, right? You just look and then start charging your exit boots, and then as soon as he turns the corner, you just jump and now you're a super hard shot thing to hit. And if you land on the edge, like you can dodge shots, or you just like manipulate your jumps and you land here. So again, you're totally fine, right? There's like you have a lot of escape options as Bap. But if you just walk out across, you might get shot. So don't do that. Play cover.
Regen burst
Again,
activated.
like cart's not your priority, right? Staying safe is your priority. This is not the safe spot. This is your safe spot. You can also walk the cart from the edge of it anyways. So yeah. And then once you're up here, again, you can keep jumping over the wall and checking for information, right? Like who's on the high ground, who's on our high ground, or who's on their high ground, who's on high ground, who's on our high ground, right? Like what is how's our hog doing? Does our hog need help? Is there a guy over here we can kill? If this guy uses flashbang, I can just land over the side and go kill this guy because I don't have to worry about anything anymore, right? Or if you're feeling spicy, you can land into him when he has flashbang and throw and drop lamp and you just go kill him, right? These are things you can do. These are plays you can make as Bap. But you gotta be on the high ground in order to make these kind of plays, right? Good. Again, you stand still a little bit too much for that. But like, hey, she pistol shots, so we take those.
Nanolith administered.
That's a panic nano if I've ever seen one. Wait, hang on. Do you see that Mercy on the high ground? just jump up and go shoot him, right? Alright. High ground. So generally speaking, when you have window, you actually don't want to play like by yourself. Unless like it's a middle of the fight window and then you just window for yourself, right? But if you have the chance, you obviously want to stack the window like the IMAX theater for everybody, right? So you want to like either give them the window by playing like just like aiming it at them, or just play with them for a couple seconds until you get the window off, and then use it and then like leave, right? Go back to your high ground once like the window has like been settled more or less. Either it's like it's killed them or made them run, right? So, but that's generally how you want to use windows. You give it to your team. If you can't use it for your team, right? There's a lot of situations where you can't. Which again, just use it for yourself. But yeah.
You're fully healed.
Unlucky.
Team up for special attack.
This will help.
Well, it could be worse.
The payload has reached the checkpoint. Hello.
Wait, hang on. Alright, don't peek him again, right? So the McCree was shooting you, right? And you were taking a lot of damage, right? So if you slow down, right? One shot, two shot. You're scared, right? He misses, or else you would have died, right? And you press shift, right? So now you're healing.
Regen up.
So why do you peek him again, right? As support, just always prioritize your own life, right? I mean, you should just in general in Overwatch, but like especially support, you cannot die to things as obvious as this, right? So he just shot you twice. You even know you got shot. You backed up. You press shift to heal, and before you've healed up, or before you've gotten like the McCree's been dealt with, you're peeking right back into him, right? And if he shot you here, he'd shoot you dead. You'd just be dead, right? So like again, don't walk across, right? Don't peek him again. I know there's stuff happening over here, but that's not how you do it, right? So like if you get shot, you back up, and you either go this way, right? Again, where you cover the whole time, and then you can like regroup with your team normally, or you just back up, right? So you can heal your team over here and not get shot from front, right? And you can heal your team, you can shoot the Rhine, right? And then you can regroup by dropping down, and or even just going right back across, because presumably at that point, when the Rhine is dead, they're not going to hang around over here anymore, right? But you can't peek the McCree again. You just absolutely cannot peek the McCree again. Like he hits you twice. If you want to help your team, there's better ways to do it. Don't risk your life for it. Oh my god, your Ana is so brave. Hang on, I need to see that again. Look at this Ana. Yes, fight the McCree. I can't hit the shot. Like, okay, this McCree can't. This Ana can't hit the shot. It's hard scope. What is this? I'm sorry, that was just too funny.
You're covered.
Anyone need some cold refreshment?
Again, I know it's easy to hit shots like this when like you're not moving side to side.
Anyone need some cold
You look,
refreshment?
you see this Ash, right? And you see how like for that half second you not only stop moving, when you started moving you moved at her, right? Like yes, like you make your shots more reliable that way, but if she's looking at you, right? If she just like is like looking at you, you're dead, right? She just kills you, or like at least gets close to killing you by headshotting, right? And forces ammo or something, right? Because your movement is non-existent relative to her, right? Even if you're moving forward or backward, like your character model is not actually moving relative to the Ash, right? Um, and if you don't have any side-to-side movement, and for a second you even stood still, right? So if this Ash was more aware, right, she would just either kill you or headshot you, right? And just force a lot of like pressure, right? So if you look, so she's not even looking. Okay, so she like so right here, if she just flicked, like a better Ash would just flick and shoot you right here, and because you're not moving at all, right? You would take a headshot's worth of damage. So just be really wary about just like doing that, especially the things that can actually shoot back, right? So it's already bad enough that you stand still, but but like Ash was like looking in your general direction, like, and it could have been actually looking at you, and you still like stood still to stabilize your aim essentially, right? You press only W and S, and you didn't press any AD, and you stood still actually when you're shooting. So just like be really careful about that because that's really dangerous.
My ultimate is ready.
Alright, get out window somewhere.
And I will boost you.
Still haven't used it. Just thinking on it. So window is not like a particularly great ult. Like it's really good in certain contexts. But you just want to like set up for that context, that situation, as soon as you can, right? Like everybody more or less grouped up, the enemy team has to commit to something, and as the round walks into your team, you set up the window, the round dies, right? 9 times out of 10, right? That's our ideal scenario, and you can set that up really easily. And in a team setting, you'd ask for pull for it as well, right? Like the Orisa pull. You just pull window, right? Everybody dies, it's great. Or just window for yourself in the middle of like a close fight, right? But you need to use window because it's relatively cheap to build, and it's just a lot of free value.
I'm keeping
Also, it's hard to know what exactly the good time to use window or not if you don't use it, right? Okay, just standing still here, you're inviting these opportunities, right? Just gets a free headshot, right? Again, you're standing still, you die, right? Like, please stop standing still. It is very bad. I understand it makes aiming easier, but it gets you killed a lot. Like, it's only gotten you killed once or twice this game in particular, but like, it's been a near thing a couple of times, and against better players, again, these guys are not very good. Like this Ash, like, saw you standing still in front of her, didn't even try to shoot you. Like, these guys are not very good, but against good players, this will get you punished a lot.
C'est tant comme gon monde qui a veillé sur moi.
If you need help, like aim training, right? There are tools for this. If you feel like you can't aim without standing still, right? And in some cases, it is okay to stand still. Just remember there's a time and place for it. And generally speaking, it's not characters like Widow, where like if you just hit the shot, it doesn't matter if you like were standing still. You're way more threatening than like than a support is on Widow, right? If you need help aim training, like let me know. There's like tools for this. The most obvious one is like Aim Labs because it's free on Steam. There's also Kovacs for like $5 or something, maybe 10. It might have gotten more expensive. There's what else is there? There's Aim Hero, right? There's a lot of like aim training tools that are all on Steam. And there's a lot of things you can do. But like, please don't like stand still to aim if you don't absolutely have to, because it's a very bad habit. Yeah. So remember to take high ground on Bap. Use window more aggressively. I don't think you use window at all. And in this, what is this? We're 3:40 on last point, which means that let's see. First point is 4 minutes. Second point is 2:30, so 6.5, and the third point is another minute and a half. So that's 8 total minutes of game time. And you are 4.25 minutes in, and you've not used a single window. Or no, you used one on first. I remember. Sorry. So this is your second window. And that's just like a long time between windows, right? And you've had this window for a while, so just remember to use window more aggressively, more frequently, and then decide from there whether or not it was a good window. And use your exit boots all the time for setting up shots, for helping people on high ground, for taking high ground, for scouting, right? Especially from behind walls, right? Just check constantly. Don't do anything stupid like jump into a widow or something, but into a widow sightline. But just like play cover, use exit boots, use your ult more. Be stingy with your lamp. I think you've only used like 1 or 2 lamps this whole game. But like use lamp when like things are actually about to die, right? Like a big part of using lamp is like just like anticipating damage, right? So if somebody gets stunned, throw a lamp at them because they're probably going to eat a lot of damage. Um, when possible, try to put lamps behind corners. I know that's not always possible. I know it's not always possible to think that even that fast because it's hard to process. But try to do it whenever possible. Um, and then yeah, those are the big points. Don't stand still when you're shooting. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Any questions, comments, concerns. And if you get to this part of the video, DM me what 2 + 7 equals.